Yes, it's a brand new week where we bring you all things from property development, from chatting to real estate agents to bringing you aesthetically pleasing properties from all over Windhoek, and also bringing you news which keeps you updated with the latest happenings in the world of property. My name is Aina Raizakoya and this is my.na property.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
In some property news today, a total of 160 building plans were approved by the City of Windhoek in September, 11 fewer than 181 approved in August, according to IJG Securities. In financial terms, the approvals were valued at 129.6 million Namibian dollars, marking a 94.9% month-on-month increase from August's low base of 66.5 million Namibian dollars. Year to date, approvals have been granted for 1,450 building plans with a total value of 1.04 billion Namibian dollars. This represents a 23.8% reduction in the number of approvals compared to the same period in the previous years and a 26.8% decrease in terms of overall value. On a cumulative 12-month perspective, there has been a 20.6% decline in the number of approvals and a 30.1% decrease in values compared to the equivalent 12-month period from a year ago. 49 building plans worth 75.7 million Namibian dollars were completed during the month. Moving over to our next story, still staying with City of Windhoek. The city is opposing a plan by the Ongos Development Valley to set up an independent power generation facility, saying it holds the right to provide electricity to all developments within its license area. The OVD is situated on the northwestern outskirts of Windhoek. The City of Windhoek also argues that Mines Minister Tom Alwendo granted Ongos the right to develop in its power generation plant, a decision which it says it is beyond the mandate of the minister's power. The argument is contained in an affidavit launched by the City of Windhoek CEO Moses Machai. Alwendo is also accused of acting unlawfully, granting a power generation license to Ongos despite it failing within the bounds despite it falling within the bounds of the City of Windhoek, making his case for why the decision to grant OVD a generation license was illegal. Machai stated that procedures had not been followed. It ought to be the second Electricity Control Board, who should have taken the decision only after the first responded, Minister of Mines, and it had been given the opportunity to be heard by applicant Ongos. All of this did not happen, he said. Machai, in his affidavit, argued that the City of Windhoek received a letter of the minister's decision without being granted an update opportunity to respond to the request by Ongos. We have more coming up on my.na property. Stay with us.
Welkom jullie, mijn naam is Brian Munango en ik is jullie aanbieder voor gooikolen. Dit meest donderdagse sportstrip noem. Einde van hierdie programma zal ik en hoe om Frans te praten. Je m'appelle? Je ben?
Le Jean.
Tu as reçu mijn kool.
Is dit nou onderbroek?
Blijf geschakeld, we zien jullie weer vrijdag volgende week.
Gooikolen!
Gooikolen!
Today on my.na property, we have the pleasure of chatting with Malcolm from Getsen property. How are you doing?
I'm always well, thanks. How are you, Aina?
I'm fantastic. Let us talk about your career as a real estate agent, how it started, how you then founded Getsen, and everything about you.
So, okay. So we're taking it way back.
Yes.
Okay, I've just been generally interested in real estate. I just found it's better for me to invest in real estate. So that's why I decided, let me go into real estate. But before I can become a developer nicely, I needed to become an agent so I can know the ins and outs and know the clients and the buyers and the sellers and the lawyers and everything, how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I wrote the exam in 2018 and I passed and I registered Getsen Real Estate in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to first sell your house?
It took about a few months. So I registered,
So you're really, really good. Like it takes you a few months. Other people, it takes them 3 years, 4 years.
No, the thing is, at least I got a mentor up front.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so I made sure I got a mentor. So when I started trading in September 2018, by January is when I sold my first property.
Oh,
the following year.
Wow,
Yeah,
nice.
so-
And then did you immediately go and have fun with that cut that you got, or did you invest it back?
No, I forgot about it. I just started working for the next deal and the next deal and the next, and then
wow.
they started piling up, and then I put it into an investment. So,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
So
no.
you're really, really disciplined. Love that. Okay, so what happens if the inspector finds something wrong with the house that you are selling? So
The inspector from City of Windhoek.
or wherever.
Yeah, okay. So when the inspector comes and checks, like this house, it's not according to the plan. So what happens is that the seller must now get an architect, and then depending on the fault also, mostly it's something that the architect needs to resolve. So they take the plans and then they redo the plans, and then it must be resubmitted for approval at the City of Windhoek.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it's maybe the neighbor side is not plastered. So you need to get someone to plaster on the neighbor side, because when you build a wall, you must always make sure the neighbor side is also plastered. If it's not, you will not get your compliance. And if you don't get your compliance, then the house cannot sell.
So this is all on the seller, not on the owner of the property.
The owner is the seller.
So where does then the real estate the agent comes in? So I'm looking at it like, okay, if the state is selling the house, contracted by the owner of the house, is then the real estate the one that has to contract the architects and so on? Or is it the owner?
Okay.
Explain to me thoroughly.
Okay. So what happens is that the seller it's their house. So when they call us and say, "Yo, Malcolm, I need to sell my house,"
Okay.
so I'm
the
just
seller
an agent.
in this case is the owner.
Is the owner.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
So if I need to sell on behalf of the agent of the seller or the owner, let's use owner. Yeah. So the owner is the seller. We are just the agents. We are
Okay.
just in between. So our main responsibility is to find the seller or the owner a buyer.
Okay.
Yeah. But now we go, because we also want to have an extra service or go the extra mile. So that's when we help sometimes with this compliance. Some agents do, some they don't. Yeah. So we also assist in, if they don't have, because most of the times the seller or the owner doesn't have an architect or don't know these things. So we assisted the whole process as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a confusion, not only with me, but I see it with a lot of people who are also interested in property. Explain these two terms, excluding cost and including cost. What does that mean? If it's including cost, do I need to go fix stuff? If it's excluding, what is going on with those two terms?
Okay, so including cost, they should actually also be specific, because including cost could mean two things. It could mean that it's only including transfer cost. Because when you're buying, when the property is changing ownership, there is transfer cost, there is bond cost, and then this bond cost and transfer cost, they include things like your transfer duty and your stamp duties, which is money that goes to our government. It's tax.
Okay.
Yeah, so that those costs include that. So the transfer cost includes the stamp duty, deeds office, the lawyer's fees, all of it is called transfer cost. Now the bond cost is only for people who are buying through the bank. So if you are buying cash, there is no bond cost. Yeah. So and when people say including costs, most likely it could mean that it's transfer cost, or it could mean all cost. All cost meaning now it's transfer cost and bond cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the excluding one, you must go and pay on your own.
You must Zula. You must find your own ways. So, but sometimes the thing is, if it's excluding, and let's say the house is 800,000, you qualify for 900,000, and so the bank does the valuation, and the valuation is fine, it's 800,000, and the cost maybe it's about 50 or 60,000, but you qualify for 9. So the bank can also include it.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as it does not go above the valuation of the house. But if the house is valued for less than the total amount, you will have to top up cash or find ways.
Okay, awesome. What is a major red flag for you when a client calls you? Say I call you and I'm like, hey Malcolm, I don't want this house anymore, I'm selling it, can you come and view it so that you can potentially get me a buyer? What are you looking at? What is the red flag when you enter my house?
When I enter a house, the first things I'm looking for problems. Yeah, because a lot of times the owner or the seller does not reveal certain things. So when I go there, I start looking at the ceiling, I start looking for cracks and stuff like that. So when I see ceiling has like a brownish thing, meaning the roof is leaking, I always ask, is that sorted? Is that fixed? Yeah, so we know certain things. And then we look at the house, I analyze the house. Is it modern? Is it not modern? Where's the location? All these things. And then I advise the seller. I tell you, this house can potentially sell for this much. I know you want more, but because of this and this and that. Yeah.
Okay.
So we look for those things.
All right.
Yeah.
And then how do you market your work?
Word of mouth, social media. We used to do print media, but print media is
What do you mean?
even a lot of the newspapers are ditching print media, going digital. So
Okay.
so it has become tough. It's not as effective. At least with social media, especially if you get on Facebook and Instagram and you do targeted ads, boosted ads. You are targeting the person that you want, and then it also gives you results. Like, okay, so it's Aina who viewed this thing. It's a lot of, or it's females. You will see that, okay, it's mostly females between a certain age that are interested in this ad. Then you know, okay, so these are my guys. So you retarget those guys again.
Yeah, until they buy
until
something.
They buy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you spoke about, marketing on social media, word of mouth, etc. When it comes to social media, do you have a WhatsApp number that we can maybe join to keep up with, Getsen real estate, what they have, what type of property they have up for offer? Do you have a website? Give us your social media handles and so forth and so on.
Okay. We have a website, www.getsen.net. We have a Facebook page also. It's Getsen Real Estate. And then we are on Instagram as Getsen RE.
Okay.
Yeah, which is Getsen Real Estate.
No WhatsApp, no Facebook?
WhatsApp,
No
the Facebook
TikTok?
page. TikTok, we are there, but we are still trying to get see how we can penetrate TikTok. TikTok is not easy like Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
It's a different.
You must
ballgame.
make TikTok. I mean, you have a nice personality. You go there, put yourself on camera.
Yeah, no, TikTok I'm there personally, but not so much on the business side. I'm still building the followership and stuff. No, on TikTok I'm busy there.
That you being busy on TikTok. Okay, give us your WhatsApp number then, the business WhatsApp number, so that if anyone is watching this interview, they'll be able to contact you should they need your services.
Okay, our number is very easy. It's 081 200 320.
Okay.
So it's 2,320. That's it.
Very, very easy indeed. All right, before I let you go, what qualities do you look for in a client when I approach you saying that, listen, I have a house or I want to buy a house. Should I have money or should I have a vision?
So that's when you are buying?
Yes.
Okay. Now, for a buyer, what we mostly want is, we don't want a lot of things, whether you are pretty or not. We just want the money. We just want to know, really, Aina, can you afford? So most of the first thing we really like to target is, do you have a pre-approval? Yes. If you have a pre-approval, can you see it? Because a lot of people want... Like,
what is this pro-approval that you...
Pre-approval is the document that you get from the bank that shows you how much you qualify for.
Okay.
Yeah. So once we know, no, I know you qualify for $1 million, then we know whatever we show you shouldn't exceed 1 million, unless Aina tells us, no, I've got a stash of 200,000 cash. So I know, okay, so we can go a bit higher, or you can cover costs yourself and things like that. Okay. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing we're looking for. And then you find a lot of people that apparently are cash buyers. They like this thing because some of them use it, so we can bypass the story of the pre-approval. Like, no, I'm a cash buyer. So we like, give us proof of funds. We want to see the cash. Anybody can just say, I have cash. Do you really have $1 million in cash?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. Just affordability.
I just have the money.
Just have
so
the
you
money.
don't care about my vision that I come to you and I say, no, I want a house with a pool. I want, stairs and so forth and so on.
Yeah, that we will also find out. We do that to make sure that we also don't waste your time. If you tell us, no, I'm looking for a house in this specific area with these specific things, then we don't go show you other things that are not in that range.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we don't waste your time. So it's good to always tell us what you're looking for. And you should know what you're looking for. Otherwise, you look and everything will be nice and you won't make a decision.
Or everything will be not nice.
And everything will not be nice. Because at the end, no house is actually as perfect as you want it to be, because you did not build it. It was built by another person. And if it's not a brand new house, it's a house that was lived in by other people, and they did it the way they wanted
it.
Yeah. So you need to come in and say, okay, my non-negotiables, you must have your non-negotiables, which are few, 2 or 3 maximum.
I wonder, Malcolm, is it better for you to build a house from scratch, or is it better to buy a house already?
It's either way. You see, because I'm also a developer.
They say it's cheaper, apparently, to build from scratch. Is that true? Than it is to buy one already that is fully standing?
It depends in the end. It depends on how you build, the contractors that you build. Like I was about to explain now, I am a developer. So for me, to build from scratch is quite cheap also, because then I negotiate the price of the land already up front. Because when you are buying is when you should make sure, when you buy the land, make sure it's low, because that's part of your eventual cost at the end. So you make sure you buy your land as cheap as possible, and then you look for building materials that are also cheap.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, but you can also find deals that already built house that you can find at a nice price, especially those ones that have problems. The houses with problems are the ones that you should be targeting if you know these things, because then you can reduce the price and say, yo, this house is a leaking roof, so I need to replace the whole roof. You must exaggerate. So you justify why the house should be cheap.
Okay, I think I need to call you when I buy my first house. Thank you very much for joining us on my.na Properties. It has been a pleasure chatting with you. I wish you more clients, more wealth, and everything else in between.
Thank you for having me, and you're welcome that I could share what I know. So if people need advice and things like that, we are there. Our contact details we already gave. So thank you.
All right, we will be right back with more. Stay with us. We
We are now standing next to the kitchen sinks because that is what we are about to choose. Esther, what would you tell a client before they decide what specific kitchen sink they should have in their kitchen?
Okay, so basically the client will have to have their measurements and the size, the depth of the zinc that they want. So depending on what they choose or what the size they have already at their house, that's what will determine what type of zinc we have to sell to them. So all sizes come in different sizes. You have the double zincs, you have the triple zincs, and the single zincs, and the prep bowls. Yes.
Once I've done my kitchen sink options, does CTM offer kitchen renovations?
Unfortunately not, we don't, but we do cater for our clients. For example, if there is a problem with kitchen zinc and we are able to get them a part of the kitchen zinc or so, we can help them with that, but we don't do renovations.
I would still want my kitchen to look very nice and colorful. Does CTM offer kitchen zinc accessories?
Yes, we do have kitchen zinc accessories. So if you are buying your zincs, you can buy a drying strainer whereby you can put your dishes when you are done washing them. Or we have the chopping boards that you can also use when you are chopping your onions and tomatoes, so that you can use, you can add to your kitchen as an accessory.
There is a famous saying that the kitchen makes the home, or women love their kitchen and they don't see home complete without a perfect kitchen.
Yes.
What would you recommend to a client to make their kitchen very homely and warm for themselves and their visitors as well?
Okay, so what I can offer my clients here at CTM is the kitchen mixers. So we have a variety of kitchen mixes that they can use with their beautiful zinc that they buy from CTM. So I believe that if you have this beautiful tap that you are able to rotate around and just wash your dishes beautifully, that will make your kitchen hit.
There you have it. Esther told you what it is that you need to do to make your kitchen a home. Esther, what else would you say is something that a kitchen cannot do without?
A kitchen cannot do without. My goodness, there's so many things. But if I have to mention in terms of what I'm selling here at CTM, obviously your kitchen needs a zinc, you need to buy the mixer, you need to buy the accessories, and we have it all available here at CTM.
You've heard it from the horse's mouth herself. You deserve a beautiful home. So please do come through to CTM Ongwediva, and Esther will be delighted to help you create your house into a beautiful home.
Good evening and welcome again to the my.na Property Studio. And in studio, as usual, we have Risa Dreyer, and she is from the company Wederkauta. Welcome, Risa.
Thank you, Lamri. It's always good to be
So
back.
happy to see you again.
I've got some good answers for you today.
I know you always have good answers. So a question that I want to ask you today, when does purchase price include costs and how is it calculated?
Okay, so that's a very good question. I think usually people are not aware of the term that it's included in the purchase price, so they kind of struggle with the term and how to understand it correctly. So in our world, if the purchase price includes cost, then it actually means that the seller is paying for the all. So that means if you've got, for example, a purchase price of 600,000 and cost is 50,000, then it will be deducted in the end from the proceeds. In actual fact, so your proceeds will be less with whatever the cost is. The cost is it is calculated exactly the same as all your usual transfer costs. There's no specific way of calculating it just because it's included in the purchase price. But it's the cost is also then paid on the full 60,000. So if the 50,000 wasn't included, then your purchase cost would only have been on 550, for example.
Yes.
So it does make a difference, but it usually happens when, for example, the purchaser doesn't have the cash flow to pay the cost. So then we advise the clients to rather include it in the purchase price, and the seller is in actual fact paying for it because he in the end do get some proceeds and it makes the deal go through.
Yeah.
So
He wants to sell the house.
He wants to sell the house, and if you can make a plan, then you say, okay, in the end I'll take 50.
The house.
Yes. So and it happens, but it's important for the seller to understand that you know in the end you will get 50,000 less or whatever the cost is on your specific property. It's not just a case of including it, but your proceeds stay the same. You will take a bit of a loss as a seller, but they're helping out.
There's always a way to kill a cat.
Yes, there's several ways to skin a cat. Ne? Is it skin or kill?
I think kill, but skin actually sounds better. Risa, thank you very, very much for this week's topic. And
I'll see you next week.
Definitely.
Be.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, we've come to the end of another exciting episode that was my.na property. We will be back again on your screen, same time, same place next week. Please do not forget that this particular show is on DSTV channel 285 as well as GoTV channel 25 in Namibia. We will see you. Until then, it's all our love, all our light.